All right, welcome in everybody. How we doing today? We're going to start drawing. Let's get, sorry, I had to get a lot of this stuff prepped. Paper, but there's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. All right. For 3. All right, so we are drawing spooky doors today. So this was our start yesterday. This was to be our finish or so. But these are just cards, easily created. So I already pre-printed these. They are, like I said, they're doors. Where's it? Let's just try to look for. Oh no! I thought it was an empty one. There it is, right here. This is the empty one I want. So let's get some ideas together, start drawing, and find out what it is that we are going to make. I like to think that for each door, since it's Halloween, we're celebrating, you know, some type of costume. So the doors are costumes, and we can decorate them or make them up however we see fit. So I was just putting some spider webs here and there. I thought it would be useful just to add something. Let's see. Something like, maybe the light needs to be on the other side. What's happening with that? Because my hand is in the way. You come over here. Just don't fall. Okay. That seems to. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just adding some spider webs to this forgotten and lonely door. Which door could this be, though? I guess it could be anybody's door. Could be your neighbor's door. Could be the door of forgotten sounds. Maybe it could be that. Sounds could be good. Forgotten sounds. Wait, is this marker dry? Wait, it goes this way. Yeah, so when I think about Halloween, I think of, you know, all of the doors that we visit during this special holiday. And often enough is that even when we don't have these type of holidays, right? How many people visit somebody and have to knock on the door for someone to answer? And equal enough, we have our own doors, some of us. And it's kind of like the same experience. This white marker is just not producing at all. Hold up. Where's the other white marker? I don't don't mind. It's like shadowy, but it still needs to be something. It's like nothing at all. I think it's still kind of early in the morning too. I guess I'm doing this early. Now this marker's too much. Oh, go figure. But yeah, I I thought of just getting up and just doing something productive today. So just making sure that these cards are seen. That's really the best of it. Because like I said, they are cards, and um, yeah, that's what else can we put here though? Gosh, what can we put? The marker just wants to. I mean, I hear. It's just that type of day, huh? Okay, well, I guess. I mean, I know I have other markers, but I don't want it to bleed as much. It's just a web. I don't really need it to dab that hard. Oh well, maybe it wants us to move on, so we'll just move on to something else then. Because yeah, we'll just have to move on. Maybe I'll put another pumpkin. I'll put a pumpkin at the bottom. And well, a pumpkin without a face. I don't want to tread too hard on this paper because that ink will do weird stuff. So I'm gonna make sure we don't get too much ink on one spot, because it is not forgiving at all. Try it. Add a question. Okay. A question sticker. Where's the orange going to be at? Add some green. Oh, not the green that I want. Sorry, it's still a pretty early day for me as well. I mean, although I do normally have to get up this early. Oh no, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had a dream that I was supposed to be doing something at a building. And I was like, well, maybe I do have something to do today at a building. But I had to question it because I was like, wait, I've never been in this building before. And the characters that were in this, where the heck is bro? I'm looking for the green marker, the one that I used yesterday, and now I just can't find it. But anyway, so I had this dream about this place that I seem to have owned, it seems. And so I opened my doors to people wanting to use the space for, activities like weddings or ceremonies or something like that. And I was like, well, I don't own anything like that right now. I mean, I was like, how and where, and what is up with the marker? So I stood there thinking, and then someone out of nowhere was like, like we host, events for people. And I was like, oh shoot, that's a really good idea. So, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed, wasn't supposed to tell anybody or whatever. But it was interesting because I was like, it sounds like a really good idea. But I have to realize that I get really good ideas just like going outside. I was like, I have to be careful because some of these ideas are not my ideas. Some of these ideas are intentions um, of others. So somebody could be trying to push an agenda on me that I have no idea about. I just really don't. Um, and like I said, I just really have to be careful about these things because not only are they situations, but I could just be throwing money in the wind, hoping that actually at that point, I'm not even hoping because if I'm throwing money in the wind, that's it. You don't get that money back at no point, if if you don't have a plan. So, but anyway, so the person that was at the front started telling, the other person that, all right, so there's two people that came in. Actually, it was like four people that came in the front door. And the person goes, oh, well, we don't open up until 10 o'clock. And I was like, open up what? Like, what do we do? And so I thought about it and I didn't say anything. And I just let whoever the person was talking, I just let them talk. And then they were like, well, we have a wedding that we want to do today. And I was like, well, did you schedule it? And the person beside me stood up and was like, we can get you, this wedding that you want today. And I was like, what the heck? Like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what we're talking about right now. It was really interesting because now I'm having a conversation with somebody I'd never met before, never talked to before in my dream. And they're telling another person that they can confirm that we can hold this or host this, at this place. And I was like, well, sure. And then for whatever reason, my brain just went into this mode where it goes, we can do that, like this is possible. And I was like, okay. So I guess I went with it, and my instructions in my head gave me this energy that I never had before and was like, you can do this. And then I started having like, I started having the information to host this event. And I mean, I've hosted tons of events in a sense, but it wasn't for my own building. It was for, a collective, somebody had started something and then I just was a part of it. And, somebody was like, here's what we got to do. And let's do it this way. Yo, where are all the markers that I used yesterday? I'm missing the orange one. I'm like, they're all supposed to be in this bag, but they are. I just don't know. Like, I had an orange marker. The orange marker's not the same orange marker. Whatever. It doesn't matter. No one cares. But anyway, so I thought of this and I was like, well, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do in my life. This is probably the place that I need to go in order to maybe host my own shows. And then I looked at it and I was like, wait, maybe this is something that someone is starting for me that I don't realize. Maybe there's a motion of something that I don't, as a collective, I just don't know because I'm not there yet in my life. And it's interesting because this was a dream this morning. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and I was like, what the heck? And it was so vivid. But the crazy part is, okay, so if you're listening, the craziest part was there was 4 people that walked in the door. There was 3 people. There was myself and 2 other people that were in this, like, let's say you walk in the door, we're standing at the front, and there's 2 males, like, with me. And then the lady comes through the door and she's talking about the wedding. And then somebody wheels in somebody on a gurney. And the gurney was like an L shape. And then the person that was on the gurney was like this gelatinous, like obese monster or something. And then the one person behind is pushing, and then there's another person on the side. And I was like, what the heck? And they just rolled right past us, didn't say anything. And I was like, what in the world did I just witness? But I couldn't say anything. Like, I couldn't observe it because the lady that had the first lady that had came through, she had started talking like to, um, what's the word? She started making it was like she made sure that she could get the other party in and we couldn't say anything about it. It was just really weird. So I was like, in my head, like, what type of idea did I just create for, this dream that I had? Because it didn't feel like I was in control. It felt like somebody else was in control of it. But I wanted to tell you guys because I was like, I never experienced anything like that before. And it wasn't scary. It was just like, what was the word? It was just like uncommon. It was just it threw me off. It threw me into a place I've never been before with my dreams because I've never seen anything like that before. And I was like, that's not normal. Where and how and dang it, freaking marker. So I quickly woke up and I was like, that's not real. Like that's never happened. I never and then it took me back because like there's this place that I went to church at, and the building that they had was huge. It could fit maybe 1,000, well, I don't want to say 1,000 people, but it was huge. It was a church. And then it automatically like my brain started going to like overload and was like, you could have this, you could have this place here, open this place up as if it's a place that hosts events because um the building is for sale. And I'm like, what? Like in my brain, this is all that was telling me to do something that once again I've never done before. I never bought a building. That's not true, but I never bought something like that that would be that massive and host events at. But I guess that's what the whoever was telling me about, and that was my dream this morning. The lady walks in, the people behind them, door was like huge. The door had to just be like, I don't know, like 20 feet. It was just freaking huge. They rolled this other person in on a gurney, and it was, I guess it was a lady. It didn't fit as a male, but it was a lady. And she was laying down, and then she flopped back, and then she flopped forward as if like they ran over a bump into the space that we had. And then the two people were the one person was beside the lady, and then the other person was pushing the gurney. And then the lady on the left hand side ushered herself to us, talking about she's making way for a wedding. So then I was like, well, maybe the wedding is of these two people that were on the one person that was on the gurney and the other person that was next to him. And I was like, what the heck? And I never experienced that before in my entire life. What's up, Mizu? Good morning, full of rain. Is this your front door? Yeah, this is my front door right here. This is what it looks like now. Yep, it's got spider webs and it's red and there's glowing light at the top of it. But that is like the craziest thing I've ever experienced. And I mean, I have tons of, premonitions and dreams and things like that. But I was like, yo, this ain't real at all. There's no way that I think that this is even comprehensible because not only do I not know any of these people, which is okay. It's okay not to know people in your dreams. But I was like, are these two people going to get married? Is this the place? And this is how we're going to in the future, like okay situations. We're just going to marry 1,000-pound people in a facility that I just wasn't sure what was happening. And like I said, the guy next to me just started talking as if he already knew what we were doing. But he was telling the lady that we don't open up until 10 o'clock in the morning. So we can't host the event until then. But it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's when I got up, and I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, bro, like tripping, because I was like, I don't know what is happening. I never experienced that before. And then, like I said, it started giving me like premonitions of places that I could use to host these events. And I was like, yo, please stop. I mean, it was okay, but I was like, nah, I'm good, man. Like I got a lot on my plate as it is. I don't need to try to host an event, like for my artwork, I 100% will do that. but not for weddings. And I was like, it must be for somebody else then. It has to be. Because I was like, I'm not involving myself or whatever craziness that was. You said, does it go to another dimension, these doors? Yes. Because each one, if you open them, is your own experience. Yes, Omizu. It works just like that. And this is why I enjoy doors. Did I tell you the story of when I was a kid, the door I found on the beach? I've always loved doors. Um, Doors are interesting because, well, I can't probably go into that. I'll probably get demonetized if I had already been, but it's interesting because like doors were the first things that I experienced when I could. If I could open up the door, that's what I did. If the door led to somewhere, I tried to get in there. I really did. I worked at this. I worked at a hotel. I actually worked at a few hotels in the previous life that I had, and um, I was in charge of maintaining the rooms, the hotel rooms. It's pretty cool. It was an odd experience because people did things that I didn't expect either. But we caught people doing like all types of stuff, just all types of stuff. And the guests and the residents and stuff like that always, were pretty friendly, but you just had those people who just was like, this is my home type stuff, and they would just rebook the hotel rooms, and keep the same room over and over and over again. So they would adjust and act like it was, their home. It was a very interesting experience. Very interesting. And I did that for like 9 years. Yeah, I did that for like 9 years of my life. You said I got my finger slammed in a door. Which door was it? Was it your door? Was it your door? Or was it a stranger's door? Did you try to break into somebody else's house and they just automatically? I'm just playing. I'm just playing, man. That's interesting though. I'm sorry that happened to you because that sounds crazy. Like it hurts so freaking bad. I remember I slammed my finger into my truck door. I closed it as if like I didn't realize that my hand was still there, and it caught my thumb. And when I tell you, I was trying to go to the grocery store. So I was leaving. I'm really hoping I don't do that today because I have to go grocery shopping today too, just to think about it. But um yeah, I did. That was years ago though. And I was like, you know what? We're not doing that shit again at all. Sorry, we're not doing that again. Because I didn't like that feeling at all. At all. It's a home for the wait. It's a home for the moment. You saying when like you tried to break into somebody's home, you tried to make it a home for a moment? Is that what you're saying? Music? Music, what we talking about, bro? What door you tried to break into, bro? What's the name of the place? Who's the people you tried to break? I'm just playing. What else are we gonna draw here? I have this red marker. I think it's red. I guess I can just make some splatters. I think blood is cool. Blood is such an interesting way of communicating. I'm just gonna put some little. Oh, you know what I can do? I just thought of it. Hold on. I think I have. Okay, so yesterday I had all my markers here in this space, right? There's a little table next to me, and I had everything on the table. I get up today, I go look at everything that's on the table. I'm like, oh, the bag is. I couldn't find the bag, and then I realized there was something over top of the bag, so I didn't see it. So now I'm here, and I'm like, where's the marker that I used yesterday? It's right here. It's right here. And so, anyway, I'm just trying to compose myself because today is Today's a different day. I mean, even though I went to sleep and I woke up, it just feels different. Like a different like a different way of thinking, I guess is how I feel about that. So yeah, just some different stuff, man. I just I'm just glad I was able to get up after that dream because that dream was freaking weird, man. Like I said, I've had tons of like phenomenal inspirational water dreams and but this one took the cake because I was like, bro, you tripping. Ain't no way I'm doing wedding planning because that's chaos in itself. And I was like, I'm tired of chaos. Life is good right now. So I don't want to add any of that to I don't want to add none of that stuff to my life because people are ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, they are freaking ridiculous, man. Like things that I cannot offer, people will ask for. But I mean, like I said, I thought of it as a good idea, but I was like, I don't know if I want to do that though. I don't know. I'm gonna put some rust on this, some rustiness. You said the door to my childhood home. I was chasing my brother and he slammed the door on my middle finger. God dang, that hurt, bro. What the? I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's a crazy memory because not only do you have the feeling of it, but it's still a memory that holds you. Yeah, that's wild, man. That's so wild. You said no. A hotel motel room is a home for the moment. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. The but yeah, it was an interesting. I wish I can go back and just tell the stories of the situation. When I saw the way that people acted, and this is way before like our technology has granted us the ability to record every single moment. Like if I could record the things that had happened at that hotel, I probably would get fired because it would not only shame the hotel, but and it wasn't the hotel's fault. Once again, it's the people that we invite to these places. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay for a week and a half, and it'd be like, okay, cool, that sounds awesome. Yeah, do that. And then they get in there and they're like, no, well, we're not leaving. You can't come in and clean the room. You can't do none of that stuff. And when they leave, they have destroyed the room, because they didn't let the housekeeping in. They didn't let anybody in during the time, which is understandable, completely understandable. But like the stuff that they did was just like it's like this is not your home, bro. This is a business. Like we're here working to accommodate, people who are travelers and people that need a place, for the moment. And they just, boy, when I say they took advantage of stuff, they did. I had this one guy, and I didn't know when I first came into the day, they had told me that we have a permanent stay. Like he's gonna stay for a long period of time. Like so you can't check him out and you can't, just giving us the update on rooms and stuff like that. So he came down and he's going out to smoke. He's got to go out to the front and stuff like that. He goes out to smoke. So he comes back in and he like for like a hot second, stop for a second in the little walkway, and then he keeps moving. So I'm like, oh, I was like, dang, like there's some leaves on the floor that he dropped, right? So then they go past, and then I'm like, I'm not bothered by it. Like there's leaves, there's water, some things like that happen. And like if it's something like I'm certain that we need to, usher and clean up, we'll do that. But this dude goes all the way to his room, and then somebody tells me that somebody pooped on the floor. And I was like, what? I was like, no, that's not real. Like somebody couldn't have. I was like, I've been sitting at the desk, like nobody came in, squatted, or sat or stayed. I was like, there's nobody who did that. And I'm visualizing all of the people that walked through. I was like, people are just traveling back and forth. Nobody stopped to do anything like that. But this guy, this guy decided that it was a good idea, and he pooped on the floor. And it wasn't leaves, it was his excrement. And I was like, how the hell did he do that? So we went back on the camera and watched him do it. It was freaking wild. I was like, there's no way. And so we charged him and everything. And we told him that he couldn't validate another stay. And it was just like a bunch of stuff. But it's like interesting because, like I said, people they just do stuff that I guess they found normal, or if it's something like, even if it was an urgent situation, he went out to smoke. He could have did all of that before he left his room, and then go out smoke, then come back up to his room. Like, it was so weird, man. Like, I had this one couple, this older couple, they ended up you said, wait, there are cameras in the rooms. Wait, what? What is one of the worst things you saw? Yeah, one of the worst things that I saw was the guy that pooped on the floor. It was so weird. He had shorts on. You know, like I said, we went back and reviewed the camera and everything, and I was like, yeah, that's the only guy that I know that was walking in that direction. And they replayed the camera, and it was definitely him. He had pooped on himself, and he just kept moving. It was like, okay, I guess that's how it works. Let me see. I had this couple that checked out, and this older couple, and they backed up and they hit somebody else's car and then kept going. I was like, wait, what? I was like, you can't do that. Like, something in my brain was like, yo, you can't do that. So I called the police. I was like, yo, somebody hit another person's car in the parking lot and then left. And so I told them, and then, you know, they checked the you know, because they have everybody's cars, like where I was located. They have everybody's cars on cameras. So they're like, oh, okay, quickly, we're gonna follow them down the street and pull them over. And they did, and they brought them back. And yeah, it was interesting though. But it was an older couple. I felt bad, but then I was like, nah, that's some BS, right? Like, bro, if that was my car, I was like, you hit my car, then just completely drive away, like on some other stuff, bro. You said, wait, there are cameras in the rooms? No, there's no cameras in the rooms. There were cameras outside in the lobby, and outside, and then in the lobby. You said Joe Poopy? Yeah, he was something else, man. He had like a whole weird attitude too. Just, I mean, I guess, like I said, everybody, you know, experienced life different, but he was freaking, when he did that, it just, you know, it just put like the craziest experience. Like, there it is right there. That was a crazy experience. Like, he's walking and he's pooping on himself. Just, it was crazy. It was just something just totally unexpected. And just like I said, I didn't rush over and be like, oh, excuse me, sir. Like, you know, it was just thinking it was like, and then somebody comes to tell me like somebody pooped on the floor. I was like, what? It's like, when? Like, when did that happen? Yeah. Yeah. People. Let me see. Did I have any scary stuff? I had ghosts. There were like sounds like the building would make, and they were like, oh, that's just a hot water heater. Or I was like, no, stuff like that just doesn't make sounds. Sorry. Just sorry. Stuff like that just does not make sounds that you have to blame on equipment, because everything makes noises, but not over. No, just it just, and it bothered the guests, because it sounded like money was falling, like change was falling on the ceiling. And it was like, there's nobody that lives above that. It has to be the roof. And then we check, and there's nothing available to get to the space in between. So it either has to be an animal, but, you know, like it has to be something that, you know, cannot be explained. And Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting experiences. Ooh, I can make leaves today. Let's go. Nice. Yesterday I couldn't make leaves to call them leaves. It just made marks on the. But now I can make leaves today. The experience begins. It begins. What you got going on this morning, Omizu? You coloring rocks? My son said he gonna color all of the rocks white, and I was like, no. And then turn around, you're coloring it blue or green or whatever color that was after. It was like orange. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna color them different. I think he's just like starting out, to get the motion. But yeah, that's what you started out with your live stream was the all white rocks. He was like, he's not gonna color them all white, is he? I was like, I'm pretty sure he's not. Like, it's just, you know. You said rock, paper, scissors to see who has to clean up that one. I didn't clean it up. That's what the maids were for, housekeeping, whatever the heck you wanted to call them at that time. I think we called them housekeeping still. We didn't call them maids. But yeah, that's what they did. They had to come in and clean up his droppings. Yeah, yeah. Now, would I ever do hotel service again? At this point, hell no. Hell to the no. I would never do that again. As the most unsatisfying job ever. Most unsatisfying. Like even the desk clerk position sucked. The hours were good, but I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. Because I usually had like nighttime situations, which the daytime had everything from people who didn't care, from people who were upset, who wanted a room for one night and we didn't have anything. I was like, nah, I'm not dealing with none of that stuff. I had people who were already checked in and needed blankets or towels or something, something, something like that. I had the night shift and I didn't mind it at all. I got off at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and the rest of my day was not dealing with hotel staff, not dealing with hotel customers, none of that stuff, not dealing with managers because I was there by myself. And actually all of the jobs that I had for hotel management, I had night shift because I just couldn't do day stuff. I just couldn't. I was like, I had a full day of doing this, and this. I was like, no, I'm not. Nope. I'm just not going to do that. And I felt good about that because, like I said, I avoided being cussed out. I avoided all that stuff. I was like, no. I was like, no, we can handle that. Whatever you want. Let me just get my manager, and the manager would just handle it, and I would just not be a part of whatever ruthless situations people just want to throw at you because they're Dax, pure Dax, So, and that's how I made my experience. That's how I made my experience in hotel management. I did really good though. I worked there for like 9 years. Yeah, yeah. You said at work. You said that white is primer. Okay, okay, okay. You said at the hospital, their title is environmental services. Oh, that's a cool name. That's real cool. I'm glad that they yeah, that sounds better than whatever they came up with years ago. They changed the title. Hopefully, they changed the pay because people deserve having to work for other people. I don't care what ethnicity. I don't care what your day looks like. I don't know how many kids you got, but I don't want to be stressed out by my pay and what's the other one? By other people. I want a smooth gig for real, for real. Like if I'm servicing somebody, et cetera. I don't want none of that extraness. Y'all can have that, bro. Yep, y'all can have that one. I don't need none of that. Nope, nope. It was an interesting life, though. It really was. I swear I was open for everything. I wanted to see what people were like. I wanted to experience, um, these shifts. It's too much red, it seems like. Um, yeah, I was, I was a pretty bold person earlier in my career. I was like, oh no, we're gonna go work at night, the night shift. I saw all of the crazy movies. I was like, I really want these experiences. I was like, I want people to do weird and crazy stuff, like, but it all happened during the day. I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't need that stuff in my life because sometimes I didn't know how to handle none of that stuff. I don't think anybody knows how to handle situations like that other than call it a manager. I remember we had like these fire drill type stuff, and then they would evacuate the residents on purpose, just because the fire department, had to do these drills and stuff like that. And it would just, oh my gosh, it would just be so chaotic. I was like, why are we doing this, bro? Like for real. Because there's standard operations that have to go on for emergencies, and they have to make sure that we're compliant for the city and stuff like that. So, but it would just throw people in a loop. Like it would just be at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Yep, everybody got to get out. Yep. No, I wouldn't be like, but we would have situations, and it'd be like that. You said they have to clean up excrement, urine, barf, and blood sometimes. Yeah, 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 yeah. That would make sense for the title then. Yeah, that would totally make sense for somebody who would be in that type of experience. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I probably wouldn't want anything like that because I mean I'm not like, what's the word? I'm not naive to it, or just too much, man. These leaves are not leaves like I want them to be right now. I'll do better. I'll always do better. Let me see what other. Let me see if that I could think back of any other like crazy stuff. The car situation when somebody ran and hit somebody else's car. I mean, just like I had like celebrities and stuff come through. You know, I didn't see like wild. Like I just knew that they were in the building. They just never did anything. Because they were in Showtime, and they just didn't do anything that it would be like, oh, they're in the building. Like we would just know that there's somebody, specific who, rented a bunch of rooms and stuff. Whoa, that's a paragraph. You, Omizu. Hold on, let me get some water. You said yesterday a guy came in who was completely out of it, and he was soaked in urine. He started wandering around the main entrance for some time before security was called, and they escorted him to the ER. Mm. That sounds wild, man. Well, I hope he's okay mentally and physically, because I'm telling you, man, people like I've experienced tons of things myself, like with my own health and like when I don't know what to do, like I'm probably like the worst person to ask if we need to do something drastic, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. Nope. I just have no idea. Nope. Just no freaking clue. I don't know what I'm making up here, but I just started drawing a line. Maybe they're just like stains or something on the walls. I need some things to reference on this one. I'm running out of drawing ideas. Anybody have anything they want me to draw? Throw it at me, and I'll make it happen. I'm just gonna make some stains, make this place look like it's been not clean for a while. Ooh. Oh, I was about to make a cross, but I'm not gonna do that. I want to make sure that we're friendly to all those who want to buy these. So I was definitely about to make a cross up there too. We not gonna do that, bro. No, sir. That public official in office will not be closing down my YouTube channel for that one, bro. Absolutely not. Public officials. You said not sure what happened afterwards. Stuff like that happens quite a bit around here. So you work at the hospital, I'm guessing? Is that what you do? I went to the hospital one time and this guy had cut his hand because I had dropped my bed frame on my hand and it opened up my thumb. And I was like, oh shoot, which one was it? I think it was this one. I don't know if I still got the mark, but I had just moved into my place and I was moving the bed frame, or it's like a couch frame, and it smashed my thumb and opened it up. Like I was like, what the? So then I called my brother and I was like, bro, like I really think I might have to go to the emergency room. Like I smashed my thumb and it's like it wasn't even bleeding. I could just see the whiteness in my thumb. And I was like, yo, I don't think this is good. I was like, I don't think it's the bone, but I was like, yo, something about this. These bro, they give me a band-aid and send me home. I was like, are you serious? Yeah. They were like, yeah. And we're gonna bill you like $4,000 for this too, because there's nothing wrong. I was like, I smashed my thumb. I'm thinking that, I did something wild, like I crushed the bone or something. No, bro. It was hurting too. Like I had some serious pain. They gave me some Tylenol, put a Band-Aid on my thumb, and sent me home. Luckily, I had insurance because that would have been the stupidest thing I did in a while, crushing my thumb and telling somebody I did that out loud. You said yuppers. That's cool, man. That's cool. I used to work at the hospital too. Yeah. I used to work at the hospital as well. I worked at the hospital for three years. Yeah. That was my first. Let me see. That was in 2008. That was in 2008. I worked at the hospital. Yeah. Yeah. What an experience that was, though. I did like the people, though. I like all the people that I worked with. I really did. Everybody drove nice cars. Nobody complained. Yeah. I mean, it complains, but I was like, yeah, well, tomorrow's gonna be different. So it's like, don't worry about what today's happening. As long as it's not gonna go home with you, then don't worry about it. For real. Did they do an X-ray on your thumb? Yeah, they did an X-ray. Yep. I sat. This is really crazy too, because let's say it happened sometime in the afternoon. I didn't go home until like 1 o'clock in the morning. The lady told me that I couldn't leave until something. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, after you get your X-ray, we want to make sure and blah, blah. Like they were just overdoing stuff at that point, because I was like, if there's nothing wrong, like, let me just go home. And they wouldn't let me go home. I was like, man, I'm about to walk out. But then I was like, well, what are they going to do if I just walk out? Like, am I refusing service? And I just stayed. I slept in the chair because I was so freaking tired. I was there like, I must have been there like 4 o'clock, and I didn't leave until like 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that was a really upsetting experience right there. I was like, all for a Band-Aid. I was like, I could have just opened up my cabinet. Like, seriously, I could just open up a cabinet in my house and got that handled right then and there. Just put a Band-Aid on it and just. So now, now at the end of the day, I think about these situations where, where I'm like, am I going to go to the emergency room, or, are we just going to tough this thing out? Because, I got good insurance, but they just, I don't know. I guess they just this is how they handle, emergencies in general. Like if you're not dying, if you're literally not, like, if you just cannot handle the situation, come in. But if you're talking, if if you didn't pass out, 6 times. If you pass out twice, don't come to the emergency room. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll go away eventually. Don't go to the emergency room. Yep. Yep. And I'm telling you that to be the realest thing, because they're like, oh, well, you're sleepy. Oh, well, you're exercising too much, or you're overstimulating, your heart, or whatever the case is, and they'll just give you something and be like, contact your PCP. Yep, that's what they'll do. And those emergency bills ain't no joke, man. They'll send you a $4,000 emergency bill. Well, it's about $1,000 to sit in the emergency room, the waiting room. About $1,000 and some change. And I'm like, if you ain't got that, don't even waste your time. Nope. Like I said, I got good insurance, so everything was paid for smoothly. But I was like, man, this is the United States. This is where we live at, y'all. They are not playing. They will charge you the arm and the leg that you thought you were gonna lose, for real. Yep. Am I wiping off the paint or am I adding paint? Can't tell. I think I'm adding paint. You said, I feel like they are liable if something happens because they let you go too soon. No, I was there for too damn long. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened, because I structured it just like that. I was like, well, if there's nothing wrong, why can't I just go home? Well, and I'm like, they're keeping me here for what? What are they keeping me here for? You said, well, you put an axe stuck into the door. I could. You want me to put one right now? I could. I could definitely do that. Hold on. Hold up. I could put another one in there. Let me see. I'll put one. Put one in there. Let's see. Let's see if I get a lighter color too. No, that's darker. That's definitely darker. Let's see. And I understand it. Like, an emergency is an emergency, and the time that they take to do things, But like I said, I think it wasn't. I think it was just all about money. Like, they're like fishing for as much as they can get out of the person that comes in. Like, oh, but I could have left. I could have easily just been like, look, I think the service is, I think the service is not needed anymore, and I'm going home. And that's what I should have did, because you're not going to charge me but tell me I have to stay here. Like, I'm not under arrest. And even if I was under arrest, I need to talk to a lawyer. Like, for real, or let me go. Charge me with something or let me go. For real, for real. Yep. Should I put this one? I'm still working with markers, y'all. Just to let y'all know, some of the fine tips of the markers are not the same as. Yeah, it's not the same. I want to go in this way, but that would be weird. Yeah, that would be weird. Like, why did you put the? Let's see. Yeah, I've had some pretty wild experiences in life too, which I'm happy about, because like it allowed me to not be ignorant to the things that are possible. For real. That's just basically how I see it. I'm not ignorant to the fact that we all need attention, and and we'll get it however we choose to. And if we don't get it, we'll do other things to make sure we got attention. And then I learned, I was like, well, if we're doing stuff like that, then that means that we must be kids. We must just be feeling like we must just be kids. Like we must be like a children's mindset still that acts like that. Get it? Acts like that. Yeah. I wonder if I should put blood up there too, but I think I might be going overboard. Like I said, I want to make sure that the card is still purchasable by anybody. I don't want to take it that it has to be something. It could just be usable. Yeah. Yep, there's your axe on the door. Thanks for asking me. Oh my gosh. It looks like a hot dog though. I have like 2 colors. Oh, I can make a broken window too. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot about the broken windows. I could do that too. If this is a place that has been not kept, a broken window would be one of those situations. The situation. If I can do this right. Or 2. Let me just break another window here too. Let me see what color will help us make it look like that. Maybe I can just add black to it. Maybe that will make the difference. Kind of fits. Kind of fits. It looks like it. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Yeah. Will you put a severed head in the bucket? Yeah, that's what I was going to. I was going to go do that. And I was like, wait, I should have put the head first, and then draw the bucket over top of it because that would have made sense. But yeah, I was just going to put a hand in there, but I could definitely do a severed head for sure. Yeah, you could definitely fit that in there. Let me see. I'm trying to, let's see. I'm trying to think how I want to do it. If I want to do like a full face or just, just like the nose or head. Maybe I just do the head. I'll just draw the face head. I thought I was going to put the back of the head, but I'll draw some eyes and stuff. I don't have a lot of like skin. I always say like skin colored markers. I did buy this one as this skin colored marker, right? Because it's got like a brownish. So even if I add another layer of another color, that could be lighter. And then I draw over this, it will change the tone of the color. But it ran out of ink because I left the cap open for a long period of time. So yeah. Yep. Yep. So all I have is apricot as the marker now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where we take it. We'll see where this goes. Actually, I could probably just add white over top of that. Maybe I could have just drawn. Maybe it could have just been gray. Now I don't know what to do. Oops. Oops. I'll probably just do gray. I just do a gray skinned, and then add elements of hopefully I can get this right. Because I want to change the tip of this marker too, but it doesn't have, the other side just doesn't have a finer tip either. So I like markers that have like really fine tips to them, so I can do details. It's just helpful. It's really helpful. Yeah, tell me about some of the designs that you anticipate creating on these rocks, because I'm for it, man. I'm 100% for it. It sounds like a really good idea. Mm. I guess I can start off with the light and then I'll just do dark. Where's my rose colored? This is not the rose one. At least I don't think so. Is this the rose one? This one might be rose colored. It might be. Just trying to blend some of this color into a skin color without peeling the paper. That's why I said I should have just drawn the head first and then draw the bucket, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. You said I'll probably do some that looks like carved pumpkins, skull, and spooky faces. Let's go. That sounds like a great idea, man. It really does. Some fun. I was hoping my son would say something about Halloween that we can carve some pumpkins or something like that, but he just is not. Like, he has to be like it has to be his idea first. And if it's not his idea, it's, he's like, well, I'll just play Roblox today. Or I'll just do whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, means I don't have to go out and spend no money, and we can just sit and watch a movie. We watched a movie last night, or we watched we watched the Ninja Turtles last night. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you got to realize, like, some people just don't don't have what I think, you know? So he's just so much more satisfied. He just sat there and watched Ninja Turtles and, you know, he played on his phone for a little bit. And that was the experience. I was like, all right, man. Like, we don't have to make pumpkins. We don't have to carve none of that stuff. I don't have to go out and spend a crazy amount of money on stuff that, you know, we don't need to because he really doesn't care. Yeah, just really just doesn't care. And I'm okay with him not caring. I'm just quite fond of us just doing whatever we need to do. I need to go check on him too because it's supposed to be taking a break. You said I picked up some Posca markers sets recently. It'll be fun to play with them. Interesting, as you say, Posca markers. Somebody else did a review on some newer markers, and I was just amazed by them. I want to say it was on YouTube, but I save everything, and I have to go. I'll let you know about the other markers before, because he said they were cheaper than Posca markers, and they were like a little bit like way more efficient with where they are. You know, they're painted on. So I said I always like to upgrade. You know, whatever that will be like. You know, for my art, and it's just I like to upgrade on things. I buy different markers to enhance the experience of creativity. So, you know, passing it along, especially if you're using markers too at some point. So, I mean, this is really all I've been using for the last couple of years. It's just markers. I mean, I do have acrylic paint, obviously, but you know, it's just been a fun experience to draw on paper. So, I mean, I spend the money. I just don't mind because I use what I use to create. So I just don't mind it at all. Yep. Yep. All right. So we spent about an hour on this one. I think let's see, we're almost finished with this one. I'm just gonna add some little speckles of speckle stuff. I was trying to think what else I could add to the floors, you know, in front of a haunted, spooky house. Um, Trails of blood would be fun too. Just footprints, water footprints. Um, but it really does look like I broke the window on that one. I like this. This is cool. Let's see what else. Because if the door is not taken care of, maybe I can draw. Let me see. I can draw some wear and tear on the door as well. Some little stains here and there. But you know, if you do not wipe down your door, all types of stuff is just bound to your door at this point. Especially if you got a white door. Oh my gosh, bro. Don't even, because the world is just gonna throw all this stuff at your door. On everything. Yeah, let me know. Absolutely. Oh, he said, wait, let's go back. I'm fast forwarding. You said maybe some sugar skulls versus some plain skulls. Wait, for me or for you on your rocks that you're painting? Some sugar skulls. That's interesting. I don't know what a sugar skull is. I guess that's what my brain is trying to. Yeah, I have no idea what a sugar skull is versus a plain skull. And he said, yeah, let me know. Got it. I usually shop at Michael's because we don't have too many places that sell decent supplies. for my rocks. I mean, online would be good too. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure there's like a hundred different types of um a hundred different companies that probably just make it their business, you know, to sell some really good markers. And I promise you, when I picked up Sharpie markers, I was like, oh, this is some stuff right here. Like these are like the best tip markers that I've used. The colors are really like newish, and yeah, I really like using these. I do. It's very interesting that yeah, it's some very interesting stuff, man. Very interesting. All right, I think we're done with this one. This one looks pretty good. Got like a who done it type. You know, it's been a while since. Yeah, I like this one though. I like it a lot. We're just gonna draw the bottom one, and we're gonna add some interesting stuff. Let me take a quick hot second break. Let me find out what my son's doing today, and I'll be right back. After the stream is done, I'm gonna go to the store so I can get us some food. Okay. You said I hated wasting money, so I want to know if the products are worth spending the money on. I mean, like I said, the guy did a really good review on Mizu. He did a really good review for it. You know, whatever he drew. I think it was on YouTube though. Um, but the review that he did, I was like, dang, like, you know, he could really draw. So when he added these markers, he added value to his product, whatever he was drawing. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like he, you know, he figured out how to add something, and he said he was trying something new. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, makes sense. Oh, this one's definitely got it. Yep. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can look up online what else there could be for because every time I tried to draw a cat for whatever reason, just came out looking like some type of raccoon that has been hiding in front of your house for a few months. And I don't mind it, but I was like, I know I can draw better cats. So we might just stay away from drawing cats at this point until I can figure out what the heck my mind wants me to do. Yeah. Paint talk, Omizu? Are you streaming? I think I just gotta. Yeah. That's a spooky graveyard. Let's see if I can figure out how to do the graveyard again. Got the moon back there. Ooh, maybe I could change the background into another depiction. Maybe the doors, maybe just the entry to another place, and there's another place back here. Maybe I can change that. I don't know. Let me see. I thought it was an idea, but ooh, I can draw a hand coming up from underneath the ground. That could be something. Maybe some plants that don't grow anymore. Okay. I got a few ideas. Who. Because tonight's gonna be a good night. Yo, it's Friday, bro. Like, I'm so glad the week is done. Because I look back at all of the things I was able to accomplish this week, except I need to call. Yo, I got to get another freaking driver's license. I don't know if anybody else knows what it takes to get another driver's license, but yeah, I have to get another freaking driver's license. And I already have one. But since I moved, I have like these, what do they call? I have like permissions. And so I have to get my ID to match my permissions. So I have to buy another freaking ID. And yeah, it's just freaking wild. So they were like, oh, well, you can just go to the DMV. But I was like, okay, well, where's the DMV at? DMV is on the other side of town. And I'm like, are you serious? It's like, yeah, that's the only one that can help with your permissions. And I was like, stop playing. They were like, no, we're not playing. We don't play about situations like this. And I was like, oh man, are you serious? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna order this online. So then the lady calls me and she was like, did you get your permissions for did you get your new ID? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, you need to go and I was like, well, what I did was I said I ordered it. I said the lady told me that I can order it online and I should be able to get it, within the time that I need it. And she was like, well, you need to call and find out where it's at, because it shouldn't take long for you to get another driver's license. And I was like, lady, I hope I get this, because not only did I have to pay for another driver's license that I just got a year ago, but now I have to get it because I have permissions that I need to get. And yeah, now I'm getting ushered and rushed to do stuff. And she was like, well, you could have just went to the DMV. I was like, ma'am, it's on the other side of town right now. And I was like, I'm not about to do that. I was like, the lady on the phone said I could just call, if I need help or whatever, but she said I could just do it online. So I was like, I'm just going to do it online and sit at home and wait for it to, come in the mail. But it's interesting. Like, the world keeps changing in ways that I don't recognize, or maybe it's already been like that, but I've never used, these type of services before. So everybody has like their own way of doing stuff. And, man, it's just such an experience that, I'll put another one on this side too. It's just like one of those experiences, like, you really just have to go through in order to understand, how, things work. Because just like I said, like say like, I don't know, maybe the fact that I was talking about the place that I had a dream about, our requirements are like, you need to tell us in advance if you want us to host a show for you, or you want us to host something. And so, we can have the time and the appropriate people to do it. And I get that, right? Because everything changes. But I was like, that's regular stuff. But for these people, that ask for stuff, they're like, oh, this has been normal for years. But I was like, but why? Like, why do y'all fit things like this? I understand there's like scams and there's people that need to do things by some type of book, but I was like, y'all just be making stuff up, like really just be making random stuff up, either to collect a check or it just sounds good. And I was like, none of it just fits at all. It just makes me feel like you guys are just, I don't know, like wasting time. Like you got to make me jump through hoops. It's just so much, so freaking much. You said I haven't tried the new Sharpie paint markers yet. They're really good. Like they're really good. I mean, they're thick, like like this, um, what the heck is it called? The tip of this. It's not foam. It's like rubber or whatever but it's like thicker, and the paint like doesn't drip. It just, I don't know. It just does like amazing experience type stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. Yeah. I really like it. I really do. I'm gonna make this hand come out of the ground. And he will be, yeah. But I mean, it's worth it if you can find it. It's definitely worth it. I'm pretty sure that the guy that I had, I watched the video from, I'm pretty sure his video was saved in my history, and I can just go and look back and find if what the video and what the markers were, because I didn't. I just thought it was a cool video that he put together, and that was pretty much it. Sorry if y'all can't see that. I realize that it's at the bottom of. Hold on, I might have to move the camera again. Or maybe I just got some tape and I could just tape this. I don't know. It's staying stuck for a second though. I already figured it out. I already had the idea days ago. Already had the idea a few days ago. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm a doctor. I got this, y'all. I'm going to do some surgery all over this. Perfect. You said my wife has to get hers renewed soon, so she's bringing all kinds of documents just in case. I guess it just depends on what you need. They told me that I need a bill that was current. I needed an identification with a photo, um, and a social security card. So, but I have my passport, so I just use my passport and a current bill, and that's what they accepted. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's pretty standard, I guess, at this point. Like if you're accustomed to getting your driver's license every year because you lose it, or you have some type of, um, what do they call them? You have to validate, not the real ID crap, but because that is crap. Real IDs is so crap, for real, for real. But um, yeah, crap. Just a bunch of crap. But yeah, I think it's just like if you just need to get, I guess, your CDL, or something like that. They just, maybe this could be water. No, it's still a graveyard. Just dirt. I'm just putting dirt here. Don't do extra stuff. Yeah. You got to get a new Trump administration approved driver's license. Yeah, that's what they told me. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. So I have to wait for him to sign it, the documentation, and then they'll send it to me in the mail so I can get approved um to fly a kite on the weekends. That's what the driver license is for. So, I gotta, you just gotta go through him, in order to get everything now, because he's got all the poop. I mean, the power in his hands. He's just making decisions with you know, whatever he wants to do. Everybody got to follow it. Like we're being brainwashed or something. Just strategically. I just can't wait for the UFOs. Ooh, I'm sorry I said it out loud. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just keep talking about UFOs. I apologize. I just do not want to get demonetized about like that. So this is a situation, right? Everybody knows that we're not alone on this planet, because this is all made up stuff, right? What I'm about to say is just all made up stuff. Okay. So last night, my son, I told him to come outside with me because I have a tent outside. This is where I painted the other day. And I left some of the paintings and stuff like that outside so they could dry, so the smell of paint doesn't overwhelm. So he was like, well, what are we gonna go outside and do? I was like, I want you to check out, where I put the tent. So he comes outside, and we're outside for like the max of like 10 minutes for him. And he's like, I want to go back inside. I was like, yeah, sure. Just go do whatever you want to do. Just go back inside. So I stay outside for a hot second. And granted, I love being outside. Oxygen, there's atmosphere, there's planes, just different sounds and stuff like that. I'm tuned into. Okay. Listen to what my words are saying. Okay. So I look up and I said, hey, big guy. I was like, is that a plane or is that a star? So he looks up and he's like, I can't see it. So once again, I can see the things because I'm tuned into this, to the sky at this point. We're looking at the sky at night. It's like 7, 8 o'clock. And so my son goes, oh, I see it now. He was like, no, that's a plane. And I was like, oh, okay. So I look at something else and I was like, is that a star? I point to it. I was like, is it moving? Is that a star? He was like, no, that's a star. And I was like, and I turned around and he turned around. I said, it could be a satellite. So he looks and he's like, oh, he's like, how do you know it's a satellite? I said, because they don't move. I said, they're either going to be a star. They blink if they're satellites. They don't blink if they're stars. They kind of shimmer a little bit, but they don't do the difference like satellites do. And I know this because I've not documented, but I've researched, and that's what they do. So he, I saw another plane or whatever, and I was like, hey, big guy, I was like, is that a plane? And he was like, yeah. And there was like 10 planes. Okay. They're going in all different directions. So then he was like, oh, I'm cold. Can I go back in the house? And I was like, yeah, go back in the house. I was like, yeah. And I'm looking up at the sky. I'm like, wow, I really enjoy what I'm seeing right now. I really do. I love looking up at the sky. So then I see something and I'm like, wait, that's not blinking at all, but it's moving. Okay. And I'm noticing that the direction of all the planes are moving from the airport. So I understand that. But this one is moving in another direction. Not at all accustomed to what I'm accustomed to seeing while I go outside now. Okay. So I'm like, oh, let me record that. Now, once again, I document things, I see things. I see these things every single day. They're planes. Cool. They're planes. Got it. This 100% not a plane. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't have lights. Now, these lights will designate so anyone that's flying near it can detail it and be like, hey, that's another plane. We might need to stay clear of it. This has 0 lights. zero lights, but it's moving. Okay. And when I say it's moving, yeah, it's moving. And I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is. And so I saw one and I was like, oh, wow, that's really amazing. I'll watch it and I'm trying to record it, but because there's no light on it, there's just a shape. And I said, that's really cool. So I tried to record it. It didn't record. Um, but if you guys don't know, I record these things and I put them on my channel. They're all my shorts. If you've ever seen any of my blue sky videos, they're they're definitely there. And I've recorded them. If you go back and look at my shorts on this channel, you can see them. They're not airplanes. And I see them every single day. Every day of my life, I go outside and I see them. I'm like, oh, they're balloons. Oops. Like, oh, they're some type of balloon. No, they're not balloons. No, they're not balloons. And they're not balloons because I know they're not balloons. Balloons don't do what they do, and they don't have lights. Get it? You get it? So I saw two of them last night, and I was really amazed by that because I was like no one ever pays attention to them, and even if you do pay attention to them, there's like nothing you can do. Obviously, blah 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 blah. Because somebody told me this before. They was like, "Well, what do you do in that situation?" I said, "Nothing." I said, "This is the world that we live in. So this is my environment. So I'm just observing what my environment is doing. I'm not obviously I'm not going to go up there and report it and blah blah blah." I said, this is just something I indulge myself in because this is the experience that we all like miss out on sometimes when we just don't even go outside. My son is one of the people. He just does not like going outside. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's 100% fine. He doesn't have reason to go outside, so that's why he doesn't. But his mom likes going outside, so he has to go outside. I like going outside, so he has to go outside. And what that's the experience um, that you can take from that, you know. But yeah, go back and look at my other videos, my little sky videos. I don't put them up there just because the sky is blue. I put them up there because I'm seeing something that is not normal. And once again, I've seen these every day, every single day of my life. I've seen them in all different shapes, and I think it's fun. Anyway, so that's rough. If you're the type to always be losing your IDs, I'm glad I don't lose my IDs. I've lost my ID one time. I lost my wallet, and that was the end of that. Nobody returned it. I didn't have any money in it, thank goodness, because I would have been like frustrated and all over the place. But um, yeah. So I'm not that type of person that just keeps losing stuff. Because yeah, I'm a pretty well put together person, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like the strategy of life is not to overwhelm yourself so you can take care of the things that are in front of you. And I just try my best and I do well. And that's really it. You said it's wait, oh Mizu said it's it has a picture of Trump's face on it as a watermark. Oh my gosh. You know how long that would last? That would last for so many years. I think that's a great idea. Not for him, but for those who think of that as being. Should I make this darker? I'm going to make this color darker. Hold on. For those who think of like how to, because that's basically what has happened in this situation, is that this man has figured out he could make as many changes as possible so they stay stuck in our experience, right? It's like, oh, if I do this, you're going to have to live with it for 4 or 8 years or even forever, because the changes that we make, are prompted, for our life. Like, no, you can't go to work because the government's closed. Some people are thinking about quitting their job, not coming back, and this man is in charge of stuff like that. So this is something that hurts and helps some of those, who don't understand what's happened. Um, and those are permanent fixes. That's exactly what they come down to, is a permanent fix for a lot of the situations. So yeah, if I put my face on the ID, and every time you get an ID, you gotta look at my face, not yours, but you gotta look at my face because I certify that every document, every license has to have a certified seal saying that, which is kind of illegal. But if you wanted to, I'm not saying that he should, but if he wanted to, he could probably get away with doing something like that. And yeah, it's not really, I mean, the next person in office can delete all of those things, but you know, like if you start messing with the school systems and the works and stuff like that, those things will stay permanent for a very long time. For a very long time. Yeah. Yeah. You said instead of your picture, it's his face. Instead of my picture, oh my gosh, that would be terrible. I would be like, you know what? I don't even want this. Nope. I would actually dread like using my ID at that point if his face was just tagged all over the representation of what I said was supposed to be my identification for whatever reason. I would just be lost for that. I'd be like, this dude is just bonkers, bro. I mean, I'm not saying that he is or isn't right now because I can't talk bad about people like that, because everybody got disability issues, everybody got something mentally that's dragging them down and holding other people accountable for the situations that we make up for ourselves. So in all of those type of situations, I really hope for the best and I hope that he recovers. I couldn't even say that without laughing. But I really do. I really hope that he finds the help that he needs in order to, make himself great again. Because it's troublesome. That stuff is just, oh my gosh. Like it's not even the stories. Like, okay, let's check this out. Okay, so right now I'm on social media. Okay, 100%. I'm on social media, and I want people to share what I'm doing. 100%. So go ahead and like my streams. Go ahead and share it with people that that are encouraging themselves to like paint or draw or tell stories or something like that. Please share my content, right? That's what this man is doing. He wants to make sure that everybody knows that he is making content. And that's it. That's 100%. That's all this comes down to. How do you make the best content? How do you make sure that people are talking about you nonstop? You do things that will rifle them. You do things that will hold them accountable. You do things that will train them to do things differently. Like that's really all this is coming down to. Is like the seriousness of it is that he figured out that the first time that he was in office, like, bro, you got to get in there and just do all types of stuff because you want to be talked about for the next 100 years. Like this is the only way that people can figure out how to live, in an environment. Now, granted, maybe he'll be hated. Maybe he will, not have a night to sleep after he's done in office. But what's done is absolutely done at this point. Like you can't go back and be like, oh, I want to go and do this. This dude is actually making something worth like not getting sleep over. Like that's some real stuff, man. And like I said, I've heard countless stories. I was like, shit, I want to be talked about like that. I want people to talk about my content. I want people to be like, yo, I can't sleep without thinking about this dude because what he said made me feel something. That's what I want to be talked about. Like, for real, for real. I don't care who you are. In the life that we live, if you're not talked about, sometimes it feels like you're not living. For real, for real. It feels like you're not a part of this world, that people are not talking about what you're capable of or what. And I mean, there's people who do this stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna name any names because, like I said, I don't want my account to be looked at like, oh, he making and he doing. No, that's not what my ideas of life are. You live it however you want to live it, and you do the best that you can. Just don't get in anybody else's way trying to get there, because it hurts, man. That stuff hurts real bad. It does. And there's ways of doing it. Like I said, I want to be talked about. I want my content to be shared by people that appreciate what I'm doing. But it's hard to do that because people are like, oh, he's so soft, or his content is this, or it doesn't hit like this other person's content does. So you really have to go out there and knock on and bang on people's doors and get people's attention for your content to be something worth watching or listening to. And I see it exactly. That's what it is. It's content. It's a movie. Somebody's making a whole entire movie of this experience. And guarantee when he's out of office, they're gonna document it. They're gonna be like, oh, this is the story of so and so. And that's all he wants. He wants to be talked about. He wants to be lived through, the next 100 years, because all of the things that he's doing, it's gonna be really hard to undo it on purpose. It's gonna be the most difficult thing to undo. You said they need to change the protest signs from no kings to the only king. That's interesting too. But I think we don't realize as well. And like I said, this my channel is based on us creating a safe space for each other. Like our talk right now, I'm not deeming, or I'm not like allowing this person to be the front of my content, but this dude is going to do whatever he will want to do, and that is the way that he lives in his world. In his mind, this is how it's supposed to be done. For real, for real. Like that's just the way you think of it. Like if you were president of the United States right now, if you said I'm going to get up there and be somebody, you got to knock down walls, bro. You can't just be like, oh, real subtle. Like you really have to go into people's houses and be like, I'm here. Like, what can I do for you? How can I change your life? Seriously. Like how can I abruptly change your perspective, so what we're doing as a community is like the realest thing you ever can hear, because people don't understand, like change is good. Change is good for everybody. It really is. Like I think we're stuck 100%. And this is not my political aspect of, but I've heard terrible stories about things that people live, and it's okay, like because it's your life. But I don't want the rest of the world to live like that. We're people who have come a far distance, you know, to empower each other, not go backwards, because going backwards only means what? We're still stuck. And change is good. Just like I said, change is really healthy. Because I know people who, well, I'm not going to say people, but there are people who want to make sure that their lives are never different for a number of reasons, and that's okay. But for others, we need inclusion. We need to be heard. We need to be seen. And the way that we work right now, it's old. It's all freaking old, man. All of that stuff is just so old. Like I don't want your grandma's furniture. I want my own brand new furniture. So the way that we make it from China, it doesn't have to be. It could be from the United States. It could be from a different country. But it has to be change that we look for, not your grandma's change in her couch. Because yeah, that idea is old. I think I'm making this brick. I should have just straightened this brick. I'm roughing this brick real quick. Sorry. Yeah, like this is the future of, excellence, not the future of going back in time and making so that we're slaves. No, not don't do that stuff. Don't don't do stuff like that. Oh, I said the S word. Oops. Sorry, YouTube. I said the S word. Yeah, like I said, that's not my type of content because yeah, I'm fixed on brand new experiences for people. Like this is a brand new experience for somebody else. I'm making cards for somebody who may want an idea on how to make something. That's all I'm doing. And I'm sharing it because it's possible. Anything else, you can go find that on somebody else's channel for real, for real. Like you can go find how to cook blueberry muffins on somebody else's channel. I'm not saying that it would never be on my channel, but I'm here to do something a little bit different. And if you got a platform, because remember, he's got a platform, he's gonna use it however he see fit. And that's what I do on my channel too. That's what Omizu does on his channel. He gonna make his content, and you either gonna turn the channel or you gonna stay and learn something. Yep. And that's for everybody, not just for your grandma. It's for the new generation that's coming up. That's for everybody. Oops. For everybody. There's just ways of doing it. Like I said, I have values that I have to stick to because not only is it going to make me feel different about my life, but it's going to hurt other people in their life. And I said there's three things: don't hurt, harm, or hinder the process of any individual. Because not only are we here for each other, but we're here to build each other up. And if I'm building a brick wall in front of you, yeah, not healthy at all. That's insanity. What I'm doing at that point, if I'm building a brick wall, is probably insanity because I'm here to share stuff. I didn't get this information to save it and what do they call them? Gatekeepers. I'm not a gatekeeper. I got keys. You want some keys? What kind of keys you want? You want a key to a brand new house? You want a key to a brand new something? You want a key to figuring out like why your emotions are, all over the place? Like I'll give you the keys. We'll figure this out together. You want to draw and create something cool? Like I'll give you the keys. I'm in no way, shape, or form going to take any of this stuff when I die. I'm not going to take none of it. It's going to be all here just for you. Yep. Stay and learn how to fight the power. There is no power because we are the batteries. We create power in our emotions and what we say and what we do. That's just how it works. Everything else is just potential energy. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, there is no power. We're not fighting anybody. Like we're not going to get up and punch anybody in the face and be like, "Oh, I just fought the power." It don't work like that. Because even if he was at home sitting on his couch, it's still potential energy. You're not going to hurt him just because he's not doing nothing, because he's not going to get up and go to work today. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't work like that. I get what you're saying though. Fight the power though. I get what you're saying. But it's like because we have to fight for our own power, our own possibilities. That's what we need to fight for. Our own individual like situations. That's what we're fighting for. Because we want to be who we say we are. We're gods. We are individual entities. We make up what we want. We go places we need to for our own. And that's how it's supposed to work. And I learned that because I used to live a life just like that. I learned that because when I was told something, I read in between the lines. I was like, oh, hell no. Something about this don't even make sense, bro. Like, it don't make sense. How can you tell me one thing and then you can go and do another thing completely different? I was like, no. That means we can do anything in this world. Anything is possible, which means I'm free. I'm free to do whatever I want to do. What are you trying to tell me I can't? If I break the rules, I'm not allowed to? I understand that. So guess what? We're not getting in nobody else's way. Absolutely not. No, sir. We're not getting in nobody else's way. Y'all stay over there. Do your weird stuff. You stay over there and do all of the things that make you who you say you are. You said turn the swamp into a casino, hotel, and golf course. That sounds like a good idea. Could be employment issues, but You turn something into a favor. You turn something into possibility. Although, though, I think that still those things are unhealthy. But if you got the money to do it, then freaking do it, bro. Seriously, like I said, I'm not in anybody's way. I'm over here enjoying the out of life, bro. For real. Just enjoying life because I only get one. Yep, I only get one of these damn things. Yep. Somebody granted me, the ideas, and I'm just using them to help me solidify what you see right now. Yep. You can do anything. You can do anything you want to do. Be anything. You can change your clothes, you can change your voice, you can change where you live. You can do all that stuff because it is your right to do it. If the country say they don't want it, then move. If they say you can go over here and do this, then go do that. Just don't be in anybody else's way and don't make what you say, right? I'm making what I say the king over here. That's cool. Stay over there and be king. Don't bring none of that stuff over here because you know what? Because we doing the things that we need to. We working, we providing. Stay over there. There's other countries that need to be ruled. They have dirt, there's no water, and nobody else is there. You can go do that right there. You can do that right there. And oh, there's no animals either. So have fun. Yep. Have fun doing that. Have fun doing that. I want to tell a scary story though. That's what I want to do. I didn't build a character yet, except for this guy in the bucket right here. I didn't tell a story that, yeah, because that's what I want to do. I want to tell a scary story. The story I told yesterday, the computer deleted it, and I just could not find it at all. I was like, "What is this? Is this on purpose? Did the computer delete what I just wrote on purpose? I think so." This is interesting because I've done that before where I was thinking about deleting something, or I was like, "Oh, please don't delete that," and it ends up being deleted, and I'm like, "Why did I do that?" And I don't know. I think it's my subconscious. It's either my subconscious or my conscience that did that, but made me feel some type of way yesterday because I was like, "Damn, this story is really good. I should probably turn this into like a little flip book type situation on my channel," but it's gone. Yeah, I remember the story. I remember what I was writing, but it's gone. And I was like, you know what? I'm not stressing it. Nope. I'm not stressing it at all because I don't need to stress it at all. Omizu said, always fight the power. Okay. I just need some people to help me get up there and do it. You gonna stand up there with me, Omizu? Because we can do this together. I believe in you. Do you believe in me, Omizu? Do you believe in what I say and can be used in this world? Do you, Omizu? And I'm being real about that too, because I have goals. And I need them to be met with swift justice. Yep. Justice. Am I gonna make the bricks? I can just make the building right here. Make the brick. Oh, I was long-winded on that one. I have to stop giving speeches though. Somebody let me do a speech one day, and it was good, but I was like so freaking long-winded. I was like, I could have got the narrative and everything out of the way in the beginning and just let everybody clap for 2 hours. But sometimes I just don't know when to stop talking. Yep, I just don't. You said always fight the power plant. True, 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 true. That makes sense. True, true, true. You said I fight the power from the safety of my home. Man, you're so right about that one. You're absolutely right about that one, Omizu. You have to. Yep. I'm sitting here all warm and stuff in my house, and I'll fight the power from here too. Yep. You come let me know when we gotta go outside. Yeah. Wait, is this the wall? What did I do that for? Let me see. Yeah, I'm real. I'm real. I'm a real freaking person. I'm 100% real. I'm a real man. We gotta go. Trust me. I'm the first one sitting in a chair. I might even be driving. No, where are we going? No, where are we going? Mm-hmm. This is a good one. I like this drawing right here. This one's pretty. It's pretty good. I gave a lot of the grass, or maybe I should add grass here too. Maybe. But I tried to add. Oh, why did I just make that random mark on the paper? Oh, oh. Has it been 2 hours yet? Can I just stop streaming at this point? Because I did all of that work and then just make some random mark out of nowhere on the paper. It's the most randomest, rando mark ever. You just do whatever you want to do. Subconscious. Just making random dark marks wherever you feel like you should. Just, yeah. Just do whatever you want to do. Yeah. Yeah. I'm about to go to the store though. I have to go get food because we're starving over here. And yeah, that's what we gotta do. I did draw a ghost here. I don't know if you can see it on the image, but I drew a ghost right there. And these are eyes right here that's looking through the peeping window. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna add to the peeping window. That's very specific. I'm gonna add some more white real quick. I would like another figure or something else to draw because I feel like it's plain. Like I can probably just go in when I edit the image, because I'm gonna edit this dark mark, whatever that crap was I just put up there. I'm gonna edit the image so everything looks to par before I actually go and print them out. But I would like another something else to add to the door. The door is kind of dirty and stuff like that, which is cool, but I feel like I need like something else. Does anybody else have, there's 3 people here, does anybody else have any other ideas that they would like me to add, draw, or include before we get this one to the printer? These are cards. These are I guess they're holiday cards in a sense. These are for Halloween. This one's for Halloween as well. I made these yesterday. You know, just something, you know, that I can print and then put it in a box and then send them to people who would want to send them to other people as gift cards or whatever. However, however you see it, just something cool to think about. If not, I guess that'll be it for me today. Then I guess I'll have to go and find something else to do tomorrow, because I think I do have more of these to do. I don't mind drawing as many of these as possible, but I think I drew 6 of them for this series. Hold on. Why is I gotta make sure my address is not in view. That is for sure. Let me see. I drew this snow for holiday cards, a little snow representation. I drew this snow representation and this one here. Like, well, just, and these, like I said, these are just like greeting cards and stuff. And then I drew this little spooky door here with some little pumpkins and stuff. And this little blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I did 6 of them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did do 6 of them already. I did this one yesterday, too. Just overdoing it and not doing it. Yeah. But that's what I did for the spooky doors. Yeah, I think this might be good enough for the series. Like I said, I did like 6 of them, 6 doors and stuff like that. Tomorrow is Saturday, which no one cares because it's just a day of the week. But I don't know what to do tomorrow. So I guess if you subscribe, you'll find out what we're doing tomorrow when I do it tomorrow. Yep. You said, what will you do for Thanksgiving? I'm probably going to go eat, or I'll probably have people here at my house for Thanksgiving. And maybe I'm gonna say maybe tomorrow I can do the Thanksgiving drawings. That's possible, because like I said, I have like tons of sheets. Like, these are blanks and more blanks. So, Thanksgiving's around the corner. Even Halloween is around the corner. I mean, this is all for next year. If I don't follow through right now and print these out and put them on my website right now, they'll just be for, whoever in the future wants to buy them. Maybe they like them and they just want to buy them. But they're cards. They're actual cards. Yep. Actual holiday cards. And you just draw whatever you want, or write or whatever you want on it in the middle of it, on the other side, and keep them, send them, whatever, however. Yep. But yeah, Thanksgiving. But like I said, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do anything tomorrow for this spooky. I think I have enough. I mean, I don't know what else to do. My ideas are cool, but I don't know what else to do for spooky. Yeah, for the spooky stuff. So I guess maybe tomorrow will be Thanksgiving if we don't have any ideas for the doors. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't mind doing another branch of ones for tomorrow. If you guys are up for it, if you subscribe today, then I guess you'll figure it out. Or if you have ideas, you can message me on the on any of the videos. You can message me on this one and be like, hey, I think it would be a good idea if you do, Snickers Day. What would the Snickers doors look like? Or I don't know, All Shoes Day, or Thanksgiving's Turkey Day, or I don't do Thanksgiving, but can you draw Turkey's Day or something? I don't know. I could just be playful with it. But ideas, are here and there. So, whatever you give, I will definitely use, and you won't get paid for it. I'm just playing. But yeah, it'll be something to share. Maybe I'll do a tutorial or something. Oh, maybe a tutorial could be good tomorrow. Maybe that could be something. Somebody asked me to do tutorials yesterday, so I just have to run some things and figure out what's possible. Yep. Maybe a tutorial. Maybe a let me see what else. I don't know. I don't know what else is next. Every day is different, and yep. And I'm just having fun. That's really it. I'm just having fun doing it. Let me see, what time is it? 11 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the store and go get some food, and yeah, I guess I'll see y'all in the next one for sure. Thanks, Omizu, for being here, and all my other lurkers. Appreciate y'all being here too. Thank you so much uh, for helping me collect. Yeah, I appreciate it. Helping me like talk about real things. And yo, yeah, go check out my other videos. Go check out my shorts for the blue sky videos to see what I was talking about earlier. For real. Like I every day I see them. Every day I see them in the blue skies. They're not airplanes. I've seen them all my life. And yeah, I'm full of rain. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Omizu. Have a good one. And I'll see y'all in the next one.